Today, I'm whispering because if Stephen hears what this video is going to be about, then he's going to be really angry. But he's still going to have to be the one who edits it, so I guess it's okay? Today I want to talk about The Winter Soldier. Not just the movie Captain America, The Winter Soldier, but the character himself of James Buchanan Barnes. And I want to talk about specifically how I think he's the most overrated character in the entire MCU. Now, I should stress that Stephen certainly does not share these feelings, but we've discussed this before, and it's probably the only thing we've ever argued about. I think that the Winter Soldier is a terrible, terrible assassin, and today I'm going to tell you why. Bucky Barnes was the lifetime friend of Captain America Steve Rogers, and during World War II, they served together in the Howling Commandos to fight the Red Skull and the evil forces of Hydra. But on a mission to capture the scientist Armin Zola from a train, Bucky fell to his death in the snow.
Grab my hand!
But he didn't die, he was captured. Hydra experimented on Barnes and turned him into the Winter Soldier, a kind of super soldier in his own right with a metal arm and an awful lot of brainwashing. And considering that he was such a uniquely talented asset, Hydra decided that he was too useful to waste on such short-term ambitions. So they froze him. The Winter Soldier would be unfrozen from cryogenic freezing, assassinate someone, refrozen, unfrozen to assassinate someone, refrozen, unfrozen, and so on and so on and so on. The insinuation being,
he's credited with over 24 assassinations in the last 50 years.
It's also mentioned that Black Widow has some kind of relationship with the Winter Soldier. She was trying to extract a target from Iran, and somewhere near Odessa, the Winter Soldier shot the man through her.
5 years ago, I was escorting a nuclear engineer out of Iran. Somebody shot out my tires near Odessa. We lost control, went straight over a cliff. I pulled us out. But the Winter Soldier was there. I was covering my engineer, so he shot him straight through me. Soviet slug, no rifling. Bye-bye bikinis.
How did she know that it was the Winter Soldier if he was using a sniper rifle? How could she tell? She must be magic. All in all, we hear a lot about how the Winter Soldier shaped the 20th century, but we don't ever actually see it on screen. In fact, for one of only two Marvel villains to have their names in the title of the movie, he's remarkably useless. In his appearances in the MCU as the Winter Soldier, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and Captain America Civil War, we see Bucky Barnes conduct 3 separate assassination attempts, only one of which succeeds. Which, for the most dangerous assassin in the world, isn't a great record. But let's break it down by the order in which we see them. Number 1. Nick Fury. The first time we actually see the Winter Soldier is when Hydra attempts to kill Nick Fury in his car. Thankfully for Nick Fury, that guy's a badass driver, and that car is pretty awesome. It can fly. It can fly. Unfortunately for Nick, just when it seems like he's escaped all the bad guys, there's a looming figure in the road, and he fires some kind of explosive magnets that flips his car, and it's the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier walks menacingly over to Nick Fury's grave, and he gets there, Nick Fury's cut a hole in the ground and run away. And that's it. He lets a 60-year-old man escape down a hole. So he tries again. He goes to Captain America's house and shoots him 3 times through a wall with an untraceable super weapon. And Nick Fury still manages to live. Now, it has been argued that this assassination attempt did succeed because Nick Fury was technically dead, but I would say that he was technically not because he lived long enough to go to a hospital, a special SHIELD hospital, to be administered that super drug that for some reason slows your heartbeat. So the Winter Soldier failed again. Even when he thinks he succeeded, he's failed. Targets number 2. Captain America and Black Widow. So Alexander Pierce and Hydra decide that as their plans are all about to come to fruition, they may as well keep the Winter Soldier out of the freezer long enough for him to become redundant. As such, they send him against the only 2 people who are really putting up any kind of resistance against them, Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff. Now Bucky has the tactical advantage here, even though he doesn't realise it, because should he ever come face to face with Captain America, which inevitably he does, the fact that he's Bucky Barnes will make Steve hesitate, while Bucky, on the other hand, won't have any problems pulling the trigger because he's essentially had his memory wiped. Instead, when that confrontation finally does take place, the Winter Soldier decides to waste time asking, "Who the hell is Bucky?" and therefore loses the chance to kill the target. Now, there's no doubting that the Winter Soldier is a skilled combatant. In Captain America 2, he successfully fends off Captain America and Black Widow and Falcon, all kind of at the same time. And in Civil War, he fights, well, pretty much everyone and seems to come out on top most of the time. But when it comes down to actually delivering the goods, he just can't do it. He spends so much time posturing and being moody and not saying things or saying things that are moody that he just can't kill Captain America. A man who is actively holding back because he doesn't want to hurt his friend. He has a chance on the highway, which he ruins by being all moody on top of a car. He has a chance about 10 minutes after that, which he ruins by asking...
Bucky? Who the hell is Bucky?
Who Bucky is, and then he has another chance on the helicarrier later, which he ruins by going all emotional. I'm so emotional right now, Stephen. And so finally, number 3. The people he successfully kills. Those poor S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the helicarrier that he bats the grenade into. That's not really who I mean, but man, it would suck to be those guys. And he kicks a guy into a propeller? What kind of psychopath is he? The people I really mean are the Starks. Howard and Maria. Now, it was quite heavily hinted in Captain America the Winter Soldier that Bucky was the one who assassinated Iron Man's parents. In Civil War, this was confirmed, and we actually saw him do it. Ambushing the Starks as they drive down a country lane, Bucky forces their car to crash before murdering them both. See, that's a good, clean assassination attempt. He gets Howard Stark's new and improved but psychotic super soldier serum and escapes into the night with not a trace of evidence to say he was there except for the bullet casing and the videos that saw him do it. Worst assassin ever. He literally murders them in front of a security camera. And he was there on that road, hiding in the woodland for them to drive past. He had to have known the camera was there. He had to have done that by choice, because this is the kind of super assassin he's meant to be. Maybe he wanted to get himself caught on camera. So in conclusion, the Winter Soldier only succeeds in 1 out of 3 missions that we see him commit. He manages to kill a scientist and his wife, but does so in a way that incriminates him 20 to 30 years later. Seriously, worst assassin ever. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Winter Soldier is pretty massively overhyped for how successful he is? Or do you agree with Stephen that, oh, he's got long hair and he's so moody and he's got a metal arm, so he's awesome? Nerd. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on Awful Commentary, and we hope to see you again soon.